The doorbell camera lit up again. Another motion alert. Another box gone, but this time the footage didn't glitch, it caught everything. There she was, Karen Miller, strutting up my porch like she owned the whole street. Pink blazer, sunglasses, hair pulled so tight it looked painful. She glanced once to the left, once to the right, then scooped up my package with a smirk that said, "What are you going to do about it?" 10 minutes later, she wasn't smirking anymore. She was screaming Han's face, even her precious blazer drenched in dark pink dye that no soap on earth could wash off. Her little kingdom of control had just turned into a neighborhood circus. Everyone saw it. Everyone knew. But before that moment, before the dark pink justice and the screaming queen, I had to survive months of stolen mail, fake smiles, and quiet humiliation. You'd think that was the end of it, but that dark pink paint was just the start. After the divorce, all I wanted was quiet, fresh paint, trimmed lawns, neighbors who waved but didn't pry. Maplewood Estates looked perfect, like one of those real estate ads where everyone smiles for no reason. Then I met Karen Miller, president of the HOA and self-appointed queen of perfection. She ran the place like a kingdom, clipboard in one hand, coffee in the other. To her, a crooked mailbox was rebellion. A lawn 2 inches too high was a crime. At first, she was friendly with sweet smiles. "Welcome to the neighborhood, Ethan." Kind of talk, but underneath that charm was something sharp. She didn't like change. She didn't like new people. Mostly, she didn't like me. I tried to stay invisible, keep my head down, follow her endless rules. But it's hard to stay quiet when someone keeps pushing. At first, she just smiled at me. Then she started watching. "My name's Ethan Cole, 38, single dad, handyman by trade, peacekeeper by nature. After the divorce, all I wanted was a quiet street and a mailbox that didn't give me headaches. Instead, I got Karen Miller, Maplewood's HOA president. Mid-50s, power suit, pink blazer, and a smile sharp enough to cut glass. The kind of woman who calls the cops if your grass grows an inch too high. The first time a package vanished, I blamed the courier. Maybe a mix-up. The second time, my stomach twisted. The third, I knew. My daughter's birthday gift gone. My medication gone. Every time, right after delivery. I finally checked the doorbell footage, and there she was. Karen, calm as ever. Walked up, took the box, left like it was her job. I replayed the clip a dozen times. My hands shook. That's when it hit me. She wasn't stealing things. She was stealing control, and that's when I stopped being polite. The next morning, I showed the footage to my neighbor, George Turner, a retired cop, silver hair, calm eyes that have seen too much. He watched the clip without blinking, then sighed. "Yeah, that's her," he said. "But if you go after Karen, you'd better be ready. She runs this place." Turns out everyone already knew. Mrs. Chen, a sweet 90-year-old from 3 houses down, whispered that her grandson's birthday toy had vanished too. Another family lost a laptop. Someone else medicine. But no one dared say her name. Karen had power, the kind that didn't need yelling. She controlled the fines, the permits, the approvals. One complaint, and she could make your life hell with a single email. That's why the whole neighborhood smiled when she waved, and locked their doors when she passed. I wasn't scared, just done being silent. If the system protects the thief, maybe it's time to build my own justice. I took the footage straight to the police station, heart pounding, phone in hand like it was a weapon. The officer behind the desk watched the clip, leaned back, and shrugged. "Hard to prove intent," he said. "Looks like she might have been picking it up for safekeeping." HOA folks do that sometimes, safekeeping. My daughter's birthday present, my meds, my tools. I left with a useless report and a new kind of anger, the quiet, dangerous kind. 2 days later, I got a notice taped to my door. HOA violation, mailbox paint not community approved. The next one said my lawn was too tall. Another trash can visible past pickup hours. Every paper carried her signature in looping pink ink, like she was autographing my misery. She wasn't just stealing packages anymore. She was stealing peace, and that's when I realized rules were her weapon and silence was her shield. She wanted control. I wanted peace, but peace doesn't come cheap. George stopped by that night with 2 beers and that half smile that meant he knew trouble was brewing. "Can't fight her head on," he said. "She hides behind rules. You need proof she can't wash off. His words stuck. Proof she couldn't wash off. Long after he went home, I sat in the glow of my laptop, scrolling through forums, porch pirate deterrents, glitter bombs, stink traps. Funny but temporary. They made a mess, not a point. Then I found a video about bank die packs, the ones that explode when stolen, marking robbers for days. The footage showed a man stained head to toe in bright ink, caught instantly. I leaned back in my chair, pulse quickening. If banks could do it, why couldn't I? Not to hurt her, just to make sure the whole world saw what she was. If banks can mark their robbers, why can't I mark mine? By Saturday, my garage looked like a crime lab. Bottles, wires, scraps of cardboard, my laptop open to a list titled Homemade Die Traps Safe Versions. I called my old college buddy, Ryan Patel, now an engineer. "Hey, genius," I said, "ever build something that stains guilt?" He laughed. "What did you do this time?" "Not me. My HOA queen stealing my mail." 2 hours later, I had a blueprint. Nothing illegal, just clever. A spring trigger, a sealed dye capsule, and a tiny delay fuse so it wouldn't pop until someone opened it fully. The first test, disaster. The capsule burst early, covering my left arm in dark pink dye that didn't fade for 3 days. My daughter thought it was hilarious. I didn't. But by the third version, it worked small, silent, perfect. I stared at the test box, heart pounding. This wasn't revenge anymore. It was art. I thought that mess was bad, wait till you see hers. Thursday morning, 9 a.m. The neighborhood was quiet. Sprinklers hissing, dogs barking in the distance. I set my bait on the porch. A medium box wrapped clean, label neat, stamped luxury spa products fragile. The kind of thing Karen Miller couldn't resist. Side, my homemade die pack waited armed, timed, and silent. I positioned the camera just right, then sat by the window, pretending to read while my heart beat loud enough to shake the blinds. At 10:42, her white SUV rolled into view. She parked 2 houses down, like always. Sunglasses on. Clipboard in hand, she didn't even hesitate. Walked straight up my path, looked around once, and smiled. That fake, perfect, I'm in charge smile. Then she took the box. "Just like that," I whispered to myself. "Got you." It felt like justice was finally breathing again, quiet, patient, watching from the shadows. She had no idea her crown was about to crack. It happened faster than I expected. 20 minutes after Karen strutted off with my package, a scream tore through Maplewood Estates. I ran to the window and froze. There she was, the queen herself, standing in her driveway, dripping in a storm of color. Not just pink. Dark pink, violet, electric blue, streaks of gold like a fireworks show had exploded in her face. Her perfect blazer was ruined, her hair plastered to her forehead, every inch of her glowing like she'd bathed in chaos. She shrieked about chemical assault, waving her arms while the colors bled together, turning her into a walking rainbow of guilt. Neighbors peeked out, filming. Laughter echoed down the street. She scrubbed at her hands, only spreading the mess. The more she fought it, the brighter it burned. George yelled from across the road. "Guess you got your proof now, Ethan!" Karen froze, realizing every phone lens was on her. But a woman that proud doesn't fall quietly. By sunset, the videos were everywhere. Neighborhood chat groups, Facebook, even a local meme page, the Rainbow Queen of Maplewood. The next day, a black SUV pulled into my driveway. A man in a tailored suit stepped out, briefcase in hand. "Mr. Cole," he said stiffly, "you've been served. Mrs. Karen Miller is filing charges for assault with a hazardous substance." I laughed. "You mean the substance she stole?" He didn't answer, just handed me the envelope and left. That night, I uploaded the footage to the police portal, time-stamped, labeled clean. Her stealing the box, the trap activating, and her reaction. I cited the property defense law word for word. 2 days later, the same officer called. "Mr. Cole," he said, almost amused, "after reviewing the footage, the case is closed." "She took your property." "You're in the clear?" I hung up, smiling for real this time. She lost her case that day, but her real fall was still coming. The following week, the neighborhood wasn't quiet anymore. Everywhere I went, people whispered at mailboxes, in driveways, during morning walks. Screenshots from the videos had spread like wildfire. Karen Miller, HOA president and self-proclaimed keeper of order, was now the rainbow villain of Maplewood. But the real hit came at the next HOA meeting. The clubhouse was packed. Phone recording. Karen walked in wearing sunglasses and a scarf that couldn't hide the fading stains on her skin. "I've been a victim of vandalism," she declared, voice trembling. George stood up, calm and steady. "No," he said, holding a folder. "You've been stealing from all of us." One by one, neighbors came forward, missing gifts, stolen tools, vanished mail. Even Mrs. Chen, shaking but brave, lifted her hand. "You took my grandson's toy," she said softly. Karen froze. The crowd turned. The Queen of Maplewood was outnumbered, and this time, no one bowed. I thought revenge would feel sweet. It felt like peace. Weeks passed. The chaos faded. The memes slowed down. For the first time since moving to Maplewood, life felt still. Packages stayed where they belonged. The air smelled like peace. One morning, I stepped onto my porch and found a plain white envelope in the mailbox. No return address, no stamp. Just my name, Ethan, written in neat cursive. Inside was a short note. "You were right. Some stains don't fade, but some people do learn. KM." I read it twice. There was no anger in the words. No sarcasm. Just exhaustion and maybe, finally, honesty. I tucked the letter inside my drawer, next to the old porch footage that had started it all. Not as a trophy, but as a reminder. Justice isn't about winning. It's about balance. And sometimes balance shows up in a plain white envelope. Maybe she finally understood what she'd done. Looking back now, I realize it was never just about stolen packages. It was about the kind of power people think they have when nobody calls them out. Karen believed control meant fear. She built her throne out of paperwork and fake smiles, and for a while it worked. But when truth finally showed up splattered in dark pink, blue, and gold, her crown cracked. The neighborhood changed after that. People started waving again, talking, helping each other instead of reporting each other. It wasn't perfect, but it felt real. Finally human. And me? I learned that silence doesn't keep the peace, it feeds the problem. You don't always need rage to fight back. Sometimes all you need is patience, proof, and a plan. So if you've ever had a Karen in your life, remember this. You can't scare truth forever. It always finds color. If you like this story of karma, courage, and creative justice, hit subscribe. Because poetic justice never sleeps. Some stains fade, but accountability sticks forever.